We are not licensed medical professionals. The thoughts and opinions expressed on this podcast are meant to share our experiences and not to diagnose or as a form of treatment. If you or anyone you know is currently suffering, respectfully encourage them to seek help from a licensed medical professional. The topics discussed in this podcast may be triggering for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Now Try with Wine. I'm Des.
And I'm Mary.
And today we have a couple of special guests for a little extra episode. This is our siblings
episode.
I could not talk.
It's fine. I'll take over from here. Today we invited our sisters to come and answer some questions with us to make it a little lighter because Des and I both agreed the last two episodes are pretty heavy.
Mary said I couldn't make any jokes. So I'm not going to make any jokes.
Because we don't want them laughing too hard. But we're probably still going to make a joke at some point. So to start off, I have my sister Gabby.
Hey, y'all.
And I also have my sister-in-law Norma.
Hello.
I want to introduce my sister Alyssa.
Hi, I'm the spoiled little sister.
I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
I still feel the same. So in this episode, we're just going to answer some questions that we found online about on the website saying that I think it was like 50 questions you should ask your siblings before you die. Some of them were a little weird, so I'm going to skip some of them, but I found some.
Are you trying to tell us something?
No. No one's dying.
If I do, I do.
We just wanted to do something a little fun. Okay, so the first question, just kind of as an icebreaker. If you could meet anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be?
Henry Cavill.
Ooh.
Keanu Reeves.
Ooh.
I just recently watched Elvis, so I thought that would have been dope to actually meet
Elvis
in person. Just because I really like biopics, whether they're sports related, music related, politically related. I like watching them, so I was really moved by it for a little bit. I know it sounds a little cliche, but I mean, who doesn't want to meet like past rock and roll people? I mean, even Marilyn Monroe would have been pretty dope.
All right, I think I want to change my answer now.
Wait, but I haven't given mine yet.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
I want to meet Tina Turner or Lucille Ball.
Who's that?
You don't know who
I get
is.
Tina Turner. Kind of. Who's Lucille Ball?
I Love Lucy, you child.
Never heard of her.
You've never watched that show or like heard of it?
Oh, no.
There was this really good
It's a
book
cult
that her
classic.
husband wrote, but Desi Arnaz wrote about their lives, and she wrote a really good book too that I just recently read in preparation for that Amazon flick, the Ricardos. Like their whole story fascinates me. Like they built an entire movie studio from the ground up, and I think she was the only female, or she was like at the time she was the only female head to run a movie studio in Hollywood. So I'm fascinated with her. And Tina Turner, it's Tina Turner. Like
she's so real for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Des, what was your changed answer?
Wait, but Gabby hasn't said anything.
Oh,
she was saying Elvis.
It was going to be Elvis, but now it's Michael Jackson because he was freaky looking, and I would like to see it.
He had a disease. What do you mean freaky looking? Well, his nose.
Yeah,
He
like the
did have
nose and the eyes. I'm
He
not
had
talking
a
about the
couple of
skin. I don't care
surgeries
that
on
he was
it.
like
Vitiligo? Is that
Vitiligo?
Vitiligo? I'm so sorry.
You said Tygo.
Vitiligo.
You know what I was thinking when she said Tygo is that Tybo, those old workout videos or that.
That's not what I meant. I think I changed mine to either Marilyn Monroe or Leonardo da Vinci. Let's be honest. He had the best artwork in my opinion. And I just want to see what was going up in his head because he had great ideas. Like, he had a working, like, motorized boat, a helicopter. What are those big balloons? The air balloons?
The helium?
Hot air balloons.
The hot air balloons? No, but the ones that drive.
Oh, like the blimps.
Yeah, blimps. He had those ideas. Obviously, they weren't going to work at that time. But he already had those ideas like centuries after.
Before, yeah.
Before.
But you know, when I think about that too, how you said you want to meet him to see how he was like, because you always hear that people who are really smart like that are very awkward in person, or they have like a weird kink to them.
Ew.
Like think of Elon Musk. But think of Elon Musk. Like people are always wondering how he came up with all of his ideas, and when you meet him, he's very kind of awkward.
In Young Sheldon, he stole Sheldon's ideas. So
Bro, I haven't gotten that
Isn't
far in
he
Young
fake?
Sheldon. You can't do this to me.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Just
Yes,
a
it's-
character.
Now it's so basic picking Keanu Reeves.
You
Well,
can
let's
change
see.
it.
Well,
I don't want to. That's
Wait,
the
did y'all say
problem.
alive or dead? I thought it was just
Yeah,
Yeah,
alive or dead.
Ooh, The Rock.
Oh.
He's still alive. Why would you ask that question?
No, because she thought that you could only pick someone who was dead.
Oh.
But also JFK, I feel like.
Oh, Michael Jackson's. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think of that. I was like, he's alive.
Next question. Who would play you in a movie?
That's too hard.
My mom always said the girl from Betty La Fea, and I took that personally because she even tried to get me to go into contests for it, which is why I low-key kind of like have not body issues, but I'm really concerned about my face sometimes.
Damn.
So I was like, that's like a childhood scar that I can't come back from.
You don't.
You don't look
No,
anything.
nothing.
No.
I don't know what it was. I was like, Mom, you're killing
You want
me.
Puka?
I need the emotional support animal.
Get Tom Nook or Isabel.
I would want
sitting on it.
Jennifer Lawrence to play me because I feel like she's quirky like I am when she talks like in her interviews and stuff, but she's not a brunette. And
She
I
could
want
be one.
She can be.
She could be one in a movie, but I'm like, I don't know if she could pull it off. I know she was really great in Silver Linings Playbook, but I still kept seeing her as a blonde.
I mean, she was brunette in
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
Games.
Oh, yeah.
Even then, I felt a little. I didn't really like. I liked her in the Hunger Games, but I was not sold on the hair.
I'd want to be played by America Ferrera.
Ooh, that's a good
She's
one.
super cool and she's super pretty, but she's like that, like, she's not Mexican or whatever, but like, she's like.
Is
that,
she not?
No, she's like Honduran or something. But she's like that in between. She's like cute, but she's also not like conventionally cute, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I can relate to her.
I
loved
like
her in
that
Superstore.
Yes,
I love that
Superstore.
show.
I loved her in Superstore.
It's so good.
I think I'd pick Gal Gadot.
Ooh.
Wonder Woman.
That's a hottie.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
I could
her.
live through her, and I could have an accent.
I love accents.
Mm-hmm.
That show Bridgerton, damn.
Oh, that's why.
I actually started that show.
Gal Gadot?
No, the accents.
Oh, I was like,
Because
she was in
the guy
Bridgerton?
in the first season of Bridgerton, oh my god,
Oh
he
my
had me
God.
from episode 1.
I still can't get over that he left in episode 2.
Or
He
the
was like,
the
for
season 2.
better things. I was like, that's the first time I've ever seen you.
And he was gorgeous.
Are y'all talking about the Duke?
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't started the show. Is it good?
It's really good.
So I really liked season 1. Season 2, I didn't really like. Only because it wasn't based off them. It's the second book, which is based off her brother, Finding Love. It's still good. It's just like, I found my love in season 1. And then they just like put him as side character season 2.
I hated season 2.
So we can say we hate things. I hate it. It wasn't for me. I still finished it because, like, don't
Me
get me
too.
wrong, it was still good. It's just something like, okay,
I wasn't sold on the love story of it. It just didn't connect with me.
yeah.
I felt like they were both being stubborn and like I didn't connect with one of them to make it worth it.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
And he was a womanizer?
Yeah.
Her brother.
Her brother.
Her brother.
So Des, who would play you?
I don't know. You know, I made everyone put theirs out, and I still don't know. My nickname growing up was Flaca and Chenita. I don't want to make any jokes. So I wouldn't know who would play me.
The Rock.
I feel like who's that poster that you have?
Poster?
Yeah, it has the pink background.
Audrey?
And, yeah, I feel like she would be a good one.
Oh, Audrey Hepburn?
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
she like
would.
dead?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
yes,
still, like, or it's a hypothetical world, Gabby.
Exactly. It's like how you said Michael Jackson earlier. He's dead. How are you gonna meet him? We're gonna go to his grave.
It applied to that question.
But I think that would be a cute one. Have you ever seen her movies?
Yes. That's why I had
think-
like 10 posters of her.
If I think
She was
of
my
you, I'm
favorite.
thinking of you in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Loved that.
That Audrey Hepburn, her style and stuff. I think that'd be Des.
Because I wear
Especially with the
black.
cat.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
What is your guilty TV pleasure?
I like to rewatch my comfort shows.
Which are?
Too many to count. if I finish one, I'm just gonna go on to the next one. I don't like starting shows and trying to finish it. I'll have like 5 different shows in between because I want the comfort from all of them. If one of them makes me sad, I go to the next one because like I don't want to continue.
I want a continuous chokehold loop with Grey's Anatomy, Desperate Housewives, and How I Met Your Mother.
Friends too for you.
Friends as well.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I love Friends. I've watched it 3 times already, and I think that's my guilty pleasure. Like, if I can't find something to watch, since I work from home, like, I start series and I finish them within, like, the month, because, like, that's all I do at work. I do my job.
Just in the background.
Yeah, I do my job, but, like, in the background, I'll be listening to it, so Friends is always there for me.
I'm obsessed with the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, my God.
I still love that show. And the Golden Girls is, like, my show. And like everybody gets me stuff that's Golden Girls because I'm obsessed with it. I can quote almost every episode. I've watched it like 100 million times. I love the Golden Girls. And then I've also recently, because my little brother Julian and I used to stay up late and watch TV Land late at night, and The Nanny was playing. And him and I loved watching The Nanny together.
love
Her
The Nanny.
outfits were so amazing.
They were Moschino, most of them, I believe.
I remember always spending the night at Desi's, and for some reason we'd end up waking up to The Nanny or George Lopez.
Yes, because they came on right after each other.
Yeah.
Mhm. George Lopez was smack when we were growing up.
I think
too.
it's on-
rewatched George
I think it's on
Lopez.
Pluto.
It
It
is.
is.
He has a
That's
new
where we
show
rewatched.
with his daughter.
It
I think
sucks.
it's Lopez versus Lopez. I didn't even get to finish.
Was I
2
the
out of 10.
only
It was
Latino
so
who was
bad.
upset for him for leaving his wife after she gave him a kidney? I could never look at him the
That's
same
why we
after
don't give a
that.
man a kidney. Let's be real.
I didn't even know
What
that.
about that girl that was on TikTok who gave her kidney to her boyfriend, and he ended up cheating on her, and then after cheating on her, they ended up breaking up, and he ruined the liver.
The kidney started failing.
Yeah, the kidney started failing because he kept drinking again. Like he was just. I was like, sir, like
How fast and how far off do you have to drink to ruin a brand new liver? Unless, she's already been neglecting that liver to start, but it was good enough to transplant.
I don't think so.
But that doesn't, I don't know. I would have had a whole new lease on life if I had gotten a
I would have
liver
taken. I would
transplant.
have taken it back if I'm being honest.
If it,
no, I cut it out myself. Just
For
kidding.
real.
I'm over here with a list of medical lotteries that I'm winning for my mom's side of the family. And I'm just over here praying and hoping that if it comes to a time like that I'm fortunate to have like a transplant and have a whole new lease on life, because I guess that's just a beginning journey that I'm having right now.
The next question. What are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Die. I'm just kidding.
If we're gonna be honest, that's number 1 on mine. So
Hey,
I feel like
We
if
said
I
it's gonna
complete,
be light.
if I complete the other 2, why not go for number 1? Like, it don't gotta be the first one to be done. It's just like.
Why
What
not
are your
make it a
other 2?
bingo?
I'd really like to either go to Japan or Korea during cherry blossom season.
Oh,
Because they have beautiful trees and like lanes where you can just walk down them.
I think Washington or
It's not the same.
Washington D.C. actually
Yeah,
has
they
them.
have them there.
Look,
It's
it's
not the same.
expensive
I
to
wanna
go
get
over
out of this
overseas.
country,
I'm
you
just
know,
letting
like,
you
go
know.
visit.
Yeah. You want to go to the motherland of the cherry blossom.
For real.
So that was 1. Des, what's the other one? What's your 3rd one?
I don't really know what my 3rd one would be.
Was Korea and Japan like 2 and 3, or was it
No,
like
it's like the same. Which one can I go to first?
okay?
Like,
Whichever country will let me in.
wait, what is it?
3. What are 3 things off your bucket list?
Oh, I guess I don't have a 3rd.
Well, you gotta make one, because if you do number 2, then number 1's next.
We'll let you think about it. Norma?
Ooh. I was like, bucket lists are hard, but I think getting in like an RV and actually going through states and whatnot.
Comfortably?
Yeah, and like a badass RV.
Yeah.
You know, the way my dad always promised that he'd get those big old luxury 18-wheelers and never did.
Well, it was always cramped into a truck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get like a little taste of it when he invites you, your mom, and your little sister to go, to like maybe 2 or 3 states over, take us to Florida because he says we're going to the beach when we're really helping him at work at the same time. But that's still like one big bucket list to take like one big like extreme road trip. I don't even know how long it lasts. I'm just praying that nothing bad happens on a road trip, because I'm also the worst at road trips as well. I'm the biggest like complainer, and I get road sick so easily.
I think it's funny that your bucket list is to take a road trip when you admitted that you're like the worst person to take a road trip with.
It's always those things that you can't have.
Yeah.
That was
like,
one.
I was like,
You did road trip, and what are your other two that you can think of?
Maybe we'll come back to my other two in the meantime.
Okay.
This was a hard question.
It was a hard question.
It's pretty easy.
I know, I'm ready to go.
All right, well, y'all go.
You want to go first, Gab?
Sure. I'd like to be covered in at least 50 tattoos. Right? Okay.
She wants 50 tattoos.
I think your mom's gonna
Probably
listen to
more.
this.
Eventually. She doesn't have any right now.
Look, my mother knows that I'm gonna get tattoos. She cannot stop me. I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn.
Oh my God, she's
there we
doing-
go.
It's what I do. It's who I am. I would also like to travel to another country, several actually, and I want to fight a man in another country. I don't know why, but that's something that's really up there.
I mean, you could do it and then leave, and they never know.
Exactly.
You're right,
Maybe
you're
get
right.
arrested in another country, but not like actually arrested, just like in trouble.
She said I won't be like Brittany Griner and
Do you remember when our neighbor, the cops came and they, for a domestic dispute across the street, but our neighbor who lived next to us, he was drinking outside with his friends and they got pretty drunk. But when the cops were over there handling the domestic dispute, they went over to the cop car and took pictures like they were getting arrested.
Oh my God.
No,
Is that the kind of pseudo thing you're wanting to do in a foreign country?
It's like, maybe, yeah, who knows?
No, do you remember when they had the freaking helicopter?
Oh yeah, because the prisoner escaped.
Circling the cul-de-sac? It was crazy.
Because a prisoner escaped from the prison down the street from my mom's house. So they were like on
Nice.
high alert.
That was the first time. The second time was because our neighbor, he had a little moment with a firearm. So that was kind of rough. Pretty cool though.
Haven't been there. Don't want to do that.
You shouldn't. There was actually just a shooting down the street.
It was supposed to be our suburban trip, but apparently it's gone hood. It's gone hood.
I said gotta put those property values low.
Yup. Those taxes are crazy. We'll stage
God.
a drive-by. Okay, my bucket list, for sure, I want to go to Germany during Oktoberfest. I want to go to Oktoberfest. They always have the sickest music concert festivals over there. I want to go to one of those. I've always wanted to go to the Palace of Versailles in France. I've dreamed about going. I've talked about it like I don't know how many times with Robert. And he wants to go too, but we're a little, we afraid to leave the country once we in. That's a cultural thing. So we're a little freaked out about going, but for sure we want to go. And I also really want to do like a cruise that goes from here to a different country, like to like Europe, or like I want to like do a real big pretty cruise liner type
I
of
feel
thing.
like those are so scary. All I think about is the Titanic. Like, what if we just set off and it's just like, and
But
it
I
just
really
sinks?
like those Disney cruises. I'd be willing to sing for a Disney cruise. They got
scary.
Daffy Duck on there.
She said as long as I got my Mickey Mouse pancakes in the morning, I'm good.
Use one of the costumes as a floaty.
I like how mine are all travel based.
No, mine are too. Because I agree. My bucket list would be the Palace of Versailles. And then my favorite flowers are tulips. And the national flower in the Netherlands is tulips. And they have like 100 acres of different types of tulips.
Is that the one where you can go and pick some?
Mm-hmm. It's for free. But they're like different types and different colors. So I would love to go there. And I think that's during the summer season.
Write that down.
And then the third one, I actually want to have a cruise, but like to Antarctica. It's like a 2-week long cruise.
Wait, but there's like that one part of the ocean to Antarctica that's like super dangerous, isn't it? Like the waves get up to like 100 feet or something.
I think I've
like
heard
that.
about that.
I haven't. Okay, so I thought of Antarctica, but then like, what if I go to the North Pole? Because there's another cruise that goes straight to the North Pole.
You can
To
meet
see
the
Santa?
Coca-Cola bear.
I was all
Not
Santa.
to
You and
see
Coca-Cola
Santa.
were all Santa?
I was thinking penguins.
All I'm imagining from this cruise is that Adam Sandler movie where Drew Barrymore forgets, and at the end
Oh, yeah.
she comes out because she can't remember, but it's like all
51st Dates.
yeah, 51st
I love
Dates.
that
I love
And she
that
comes out.
movie.
She comes out of the boat that they're in, and they're like in some ice like.
He went to
type
go see
place.
the walruses in their natural habitat.
Yeah,
Could have seen
that's all
That
I'm
was
seeing Desiree do. She
gorgeous,
just
though.
emerges from the bottom of like the boat. She's like
That
"What's up?"
robe she was wearing in
I've
that
never
scene
seen the
was
movie.
oh my god.
I have never seen it. I've heard that it's really good, but I've just never sat down and actually watched it.
The only thing
We'll
I
have to do
remember-
that.
We need
We'll
to
have
have
a
a
girls'
rom-com
night.
night,
Yeah,
yeah.
a girls' night sleepover, and we'll watch it.
I only remember when the walrus threw up on that lady.
Don't ruin it for Allie. Don't
That's
ruin it
like
for
my favorite part.
Do you believe in ghosts / paranormal activity?
Allie and I's are not traumatic as well. Are good stories.
Do you believe in ghosts, Norma?
Oh, of course I do. Gus gets mad at me when I hear a noise in the apartment and I go, hello? He's like, it's not good.
Why are you saying hello? Who's Gus? You have to
I
tell
do
him
that
who's
too.
Gus.
Oh, Gus.
She pointed at him.
Gus, everyone. It is my boyfriend of 2 years, but he has like little, like, I have little quirks and stuff that, you know, of course, like, they're like his icks. According to TikTok, we have icks now instead of things that bother us.
Dang, an icks are that you believe in ghosts?
No, the icks is that I say hello when I hear a noise. That's the ick. But I do believe in ghosts. Would I venture out to have a paranormal experience? Probably not, because
You've
just
never
watching
had one?
just watching movies scares me. The closest thing I've had to a paranormal experience was the time I was on edibles and I had sleep paralysis. That's as close as I'm gonna get. That's as close as I'm going to get. It was not for me.
Nah,
However,
I've had experiences at your parents' house.
at my parents' house with what?
We're not getting into it.
The closest thing to
Your
my
room's
parents'
too
house.
cold.
Well, my room was always cold, but
I wonder why.
and then the door would close on its own. But my parents would say it's the air conditioning. Maybe Robert and Stephanie can testify that it was my mom's aunt who passed away in that room.
Robert,
Do I care?
he
Perhaps
knows about
not.
the aunt, but he is always insisted that he doesn't believe ghosts are real. At all.
Really?
Yeah, he does not believe in the ghost. Like, I always think that there's a ghost somewhere. He goes, I've never seen them.
Even after that trip y'all took?
Yeah, at the
Was it?
the Ghost Adventures Museum, or
He
was it
still-
that one?
No.
Oh, that
That-
one was...
No, the one where y'all saw the dolls.
Oh, that was in Vegas when we went to the Zach
Dolls.
Baggins Museum.
Yes.
Yeah, when we were at the museum, Robert was like, Mary, look at that. Because there was a big old, like a china cabinet full of, like, little random dolls in it. And he was like, look, Mary, like, is it moving? I saw the doll moving. But then he, like, immediately he was like, oh, it's probably just because people are walking around. And I didn't want to freak him out because, to be honest, we were a little drunk. So I didn't say anything, but when we went outside, he told the guy the story, and he was like, but, you know, I think people, because they were walking around, was making it shake. And I was like, Robert, if you were paying attention, nothing else in that case was shaking but the doll. And he was like, oh my God, like, I blew his mind. Like, his face got all red, and he told a bunch of other random people that story.
Oh my god.
Oh, my brother. He never came face to face with ghosts.
Yeah, because that's honestly his
Oh, he never
only
really
ghost
did
story that he's
ghosts.
ever told me.
That's what I'm saying. I keep thinking of the one when y'all went to the beach with your family.
That was crazy. Flat-footed ghost. We had a flat-footed ghost.
Who wants to tell it? Well, y'all have two different stories actually.
Y'all have two different views of it. That's the
No,
thing.
it was two different stories completely.
Yeah, what happened to her was actually a lot scarier. I made fun of the ghost in our room.
Because it had flat feet.
Yeah.
She did.
Bro.
When I got up in the morning, she was like, it was flat-footed ghost like this. And she's like kicking her legs up like a cheerleader and smacking it on the floor.
No, because I didn't even experience it. It was my friend, because she came on the trip with us. And she was like, didn't you hear something walking around at night? And she, like, imitated it. And it was walking, like, smacking the ground with her feet. And I thought it was my brother, like, making a joke because he's flat-footed.
Yeah.
But I realized he hadn't even shown up, like, until the day after we arrived. So it was just us in the house. And then there was also, like, a journal where people left reviews on, like, the table by the door or whatever. And someone left a note that there was something in the dark. And, yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, some kid wrote in there. They just said something in the dark. And then we were kind of like, oh, okay.
Okay, that's enough. Post-fuck.
Y'all only stay one night or like...
We were there 2 or 2
Dang, so
nights,
y'all
yeah.
figured this out and then had to stay?
Yeah.
Well, that happened to me the second night we were there because Gabby I remember her telling us that story. Everybody thought it was funny. And then the second night we were there, you know how Robert is. Robert's my husband, just in case you forgot. He's a very early riser. So he was up by like 6, 7 o'clock, even when we're on vacation. He's just got that internal clock thing going on. So I didn't wake up. I woke up a little bit, like I was like half asleep, and I heard someone come in the room. I thought Robert had went to the bathroom, was coming back in. And then I felt someone like sit up on the bed and like lean over. And all of a sudden I heard, help me. And I didn't I opened my eyes and there was a mirror on the other side of the bed. I could see that no one else was in the room. So I got scared and I was like, I'm going to wait for Robert to come back. I'm just not going to acknowledge it. Grandma said, if you don't tell it that you know it's there, it'll go away. So as soon as he came back, I was like, why weren't you in here? Like, where were you? I was almost attacked.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like for me, if that happens to me, like if I hear like the help me, I always talk back.
Me too.
So I'd be like, ew, like go away, like go find someone else. Like
Well, I've heard that like...
if you're
Because
very
Grandma
rude
told
to
us
it,
too, yeah.
if you're very rude to it, then it's less likely to harm you, I guess, or keep having activity happen.
Grandma's always told us that. My mom's like super spiritual, and she told us like if you ever hear something or like see something, you have to like run towards it and tell it to go away.
I don't think I'll run towards it, but like I'll be like walking away and be like,
I mean, if I
get
see
away.
a shadow figure down the hallway, I'm just be like, go away. That's all I'm gonna do.
I think with the shadow figure, so believing in ghosts, I 100% do, because when we were younger, when we used to stay at my grandma's for the summer, our great grandfather had passed away, and we never got to like meet him or anything. But I remember we would sleep in one room, and we would keep the door open sometimes because it was just like for good airflow or like something, right? And my grandma's room was kind of like
Diagonally across.
Yeah.
Like
It was
you could still see if you were...
If she left the door open, you could see her in her bed and everything. I remember I had woken up one night, and I guess it was kind of coming towards early morning because there was some light coming in, but not like we had a light on. So I remember waking up and I like sat up because I kept like feeling uneasy. And I had looked across the room and my grandma was sleeping in her bed, and I had seen this tall figure just leaning over and looking at her. I minded my business and I laid back down and I looked at the ceiling because what am I gonna do? You know, like, I don't know. And I remember I had told her that, and she was like, oh, that's probably just your grandfather visiting. Excuse me?
But
What?
she would say that often because remember, we would also like before she would go to bed, she would actually like, it seemed like she was having a conversation with herself, but she was like telling my grandfather her day.
Thinking about it, maybe she was just crazy. But it was still pretty like scary, I guess, because even she had a screen door, and the screen door would open and close on its own sometimes. And I think my dad had said one time that the screen door had closed, like it slammed as if somebody had closed it, and then somebody said like, I'm home.
That was us.
Oh.
That's why my first encounter, aka I do believe in ghosts too. We were at my grandma's house, and they converted her garage into a den, so that's where her living room was. So for the most part, like, garages are kind of away from the house, so her front door, you could not see it. She would always leave her screen door open unlocked because she was in the ghetto, but it was a good part of the ghetto, you know what I mean?
It was like old people around, so we all knew each other.
Puka's snoring. But someone was always like coming into the house as like family, like my tias, my tío, to check up on us. And she came into the house, or we were all watching TV, and she was falling asleep, and we heard the screen door open, close, and then we heard her big like actual door open and close too, and a male voice was like, "Hello, I'm home." So we all like looked at each other because nobody was supposed to come over that day, and if someone was, it was supposed to be my tia, not a man.
And what we did was send our very elderly grandma to go see if anybody was there.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be me.
we sent our elderly grandma, and then she came to me and was like, "Mija, go get a knife, and I want you to go look in the rooms."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Grandma, So what was I? Like 12, 13, I had like a big old butcher knife shaking, and I was going through the rooms and I didn't see anybody. And when I came back to the den, she was kind of like tearing up, and Allie was comforting her, and I was like, Grandma, what's the matter? And she was like through tears, she was like, that sounded like your grandfather. Like, I think Grandpa came to say like hello to y'all. I think he wanted to see y'all. And Allie and I were like really confused because we've never heard how he talked. He died like when my dad was super young. So like no way we'd have known what he sounded like. So we just kind of left it alone. And then it happened again, maybe like 20 minutes later. Her big door opened and her screen door opened and he said goodbye. He was like, okay, I'm leaving. And then everything closed. And then we just never talked about it again.
I had something similar. I think we talked about it in like I think 2 episodes ago, and I told you I was going to tell you about my son.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't told a lot of people this story. I think my mom and my immediate family are the only ones I told because I was kind of shooken up by it. So my brothers, my nieces were over. I had been looking forward to it all week. I had bought all kinds of like snacks and stuff for us to do, and one of the activities I had picked was for us to do cookies. So I was cleaning off the counter and washing. I forgot to wash the cooking sheet. So I was washing it, and the girls were, where my little island is, and they were wiping it down, getting it ready to put the cookie, to roll out the cookie dough.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, the older one asks me, Mary, do you have any kids? Like, she never asked me that. We never talk about him in front of the girls because I really don't want any uncomfortable questions. So I've never said anything to them about it. And I was like, I was like, oh, she's just being silly. I was like, why are you asking? Like, I'm not looking at her because I think it's just, I'm not taking her seriously at this point. And she's like, oh, because your little boy is right here. And I turn around, the littler one, she's like, he's sitting right here. He's going to make cookies with us. And oh my God, like, I didn't like see him, but like, I felt like someone hugged me in that moment. And I like broke down. I was like, I needed to get away from them because I didn't want them to see me crying. And I ran over to Robert and I told him what happened. And like Robert like calmed me down. He goes, it probably wasn't him. And then I saw him go and check and look in the kitchen for him. And oh my God, it was like, it gives me like so much peace to think that God is kind enough to let him come see me and spend time with me even when I can't see him.
He wanted to make cookies.
Yes, and I was like, and I was telling Robert, he probably heard me all week talking about it, and he really just wanted, and he really just wanted to be there when we made the cookies. And the girls had no idea, so I know that he was there.
Exactly.
They wouldn't have been able to make something like that up.
And they're kids.
Yeah. Or did anyone else have a ghost story they wanted to tell?
Oh yeah, didn't you have a ghost story?
No, I was just like gonna say that I was super like.
Oh yeah.
I had a ghost friend when I was younger. Yeah, her name was Lily. We were like.
Was she nice
besties.
at least?
To me.
Wait, is this the little girl that you had told us?
See, but there was like a scary version that.
Oh, that everyone else saw?
I don't know if
or
it was
maybe
the
she
same
was
person.
scary to us, but not to you.
Ghosts seem to perceive themselves as kind and friendly to kids. That way, it like has
Wrangles
something
them
to
in.
it.
But that's the thing. I had also seen the scary thing. Like, I remember my brothers and I were in the upstairs living room, and there was a mirror facing the hallway.
Well, that's reason number one.
Yeah, that's our bad.
Open the portal.
That was my bad.
My bad.
They were working out, lifting weights or whatever, and I was just looking in the mirror because I was like 7 or 8. I was, doing kid stuff. Like, and then my older brother Julian and we see something like scurry across the hallway, like this tall. Can I say a bad word? Sorry.
Yeah.
This tall ass like black figure that was like hella hunchback, like ran across the hallway into my brother's room, and Julian and I were like, "What the hell was that?" Like, we were like, "Hey, did you see that?" And Julian, like, of course he was like freaking out because he was like a little crybaby. Sorry. He might hear that.
We love you, Juice.
But he's like very sensitive to that like type of stuff. And so he saw it and he's like freaking out, of course. And then our brother Joey's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't see anything." Because his like.
Why does that literally sound like him?
It really does though.
His goofy ass was like on the floor lifting weights or whatever, and we were like, "Joey, there was something there, Joey." And he was like, "I didn't see anything."
what did she look like to you until you saw that? Like, did you ever see her again after that, or like?
So like I had seen her like constantly. Like we were besties for the resties. Like I thought we were tight. Like I thought we were tight.
She just left you?
Bro, like after a certain age, I never saw her again.
Damn.
But like, when I was younger, she was like, to me, she was just like this little girl. She was a little smaller than me. She had black hair, and like her aura was like white. Like her energy was white. So to me, I thought she was good, because like I feel like we associate white energy with like positivity and like brightness. And
Pretty racist.
okay.
To me, she just describes Samara from The Ring.
I know.
Oh, that's all I'm hearing.
No, but she was like cool as hell. Like,
Did she have like ghostly skin tone or like?
the crazy thing about it, she didn't have like a face or
Oh.
like
Samara.
distinct human features. Like it was
days.
I'm gonna need you to draw it out. Like,
no, it was like an energy. Like there were no distinct human features. All I knew was that her hair was black and like her energy was white.
You think it's what she wanted you to see?
Maybe, but like from what I remember, she was not distinctly like human looking. Like it was like a almost not a mist. I don't want to say a mist, but it was like there.
No, I know what you mean.
I get what you mean, because I saw her.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking a shower in my mom's downstairs
that
restroom
shit's
that we're
creepy.
never allowed to be taking a shower in, and I had locked the bedroom door
why
because
are you
I
not
didn't.
allowed to take a shower?
My mom doesn't like anyone in her
restroom,
space.
her space.
Yeah, and I get like I
was
get
like,
it
maybe
now
she
as an
saw it
adult
too late.
because I want
She
my
did,
own
actually.
space. But when we were little, I was like, I want to be an adult and take a shower in the standing shower. So I went to take a shower and I was watching the kids, but I had locked the bedroom door because I didn't want them coming in. So while I was taking a shower, I looked over because it's one of those fogged
Yeah.
glass doors, and I see a little girl in all white with black hair in front of her face standing outside the shower.
Samara.
I thought it was Gabby. So I was like, Gabby, get the heck out of here, you pervert. I'm taking a bath. And she walked off, and I heard the door open, and I was like, I must not have locked it. So when I got out of the shower...
She was like, damn.
Yeah,
She was like, all right, bet.
I was trying to show you my true self.
Well, like, we were just trying to be real with each other.
She was like, I moved on from the other one, and this is how you treat me.
She said down to
she
the
left.
nitty gritty, bro.
That's why she came back to me.
Well, I got out of the shower, and the bathroom door was open, but the bedroom door was still closed. And there's no way you could have locked it and, like, opened it and then locked it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had to do it from the other side. So then I got a little freaked out, and I went over and I asked Joey, because he was on the couch with Gabby. I was like, did Gabby just go in the bathroom? Like, what does she need? And he was like, she doesn't need anything, Mary. We've been sitting here watching TV the whole time. And then I told him what happened, and Gabby, like, didn't say anything. If you knew who it was, you should have said something.
How am I supposed to tell y'all? My little ghost friend wanted to see you naked.
She is the pervert.
No, but like, yeah, up until then, she was cool. But like, after that, like, I remember there was just like an opposite of her. Like, it was a dark energy type of thing that would scare the crap out of like me and everyone else.
After
Really?
you saw the form?
Yeah, after I saw that thing run across the hallway, that was like the first time I'd ever seen
Like something scary?
dark in the house, like something scary. Yeah,
Dang, you gotta go to that house right now.
my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived there.
But I'm saying, like,
we're cool now, but
Do you
like,
think it's because there's like a prison nearby that like that
No.
might be like a breeding ground?
So there's
for something?
actually like a very detailed story about our family, and there's two spirits that everybody in our family sees. There's a woman and there's a man.
should we talk about it in the next episode, or
think-
do you want to get into it now?
I think we should do a Halloween because it's like a full blown story as to how they
ooh,
started
there's so
following
much
it.
Halloween's
history.
like
Like,
10
it goes
months
back to our
away, bro.
grandma in Mexico.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
crazy.
good story.
it's been following us for generations.
Ooh.
Dang,
So
and
my
we're gonna
la-
leave you on a cliffhanger.
Marion, you just married my brother like that?
You brought that
He
along?
knew what he was getting into. Okay, muy táctica.
So are the ghosts.
Right?
Obviously the ghost.
For real, left me, went to Mary, left Mary, went back to me. Choose a side. Like,
Actually, at my house, it is... I feel like we have a lot of experiences there, but they're like low level stuff, you know, like there's levels and like activity for ghosts and everything, right? A few of them would be how my uncle used to stay with us, my mom's brother. He used to live with us for a little bit, and he was taking a nap downstairs on the couch watching TV, and he had heard the pantry door like open and close.
So for context, my parents is basically like, think of it like a shotgun house, like everything's back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So like he was sleeping on the couch and behind him was the pantry, the kitchen, and then the pantry.
Yeah, and he had told us like he had made a sandwich and everything before he took a nap, and he remembers closing the door. So he said he heard it open and close, and I believe he said like he saw a shadow in the TV. Comes to say that my dad has also seen a shadow in the TV, like just walk across in the kitchen, right? Crazy, because I gotta go home now too, because, right? But and it's nighttime, Jesus. But my dad has not believed in that stuff, even if we tell him all of our stories. Like, my uncle also says that he doesn't believe in ghosts like that. He does, but not so much, I guess, even though these experiences have happened multiple times to him. So I remember he went to go check, and he saw that the pantry door was like just like ajar, like it was open, like if somebody had left it like that. And with our door, our pantry door will close and open, but because of the draft, and it won't stay in a particular spot. So it being like that is weird.
Yeah, it literally, like, if you open it, it has to open all the way.
Another one would be... Ooh, we have so many. You tell your pizza pan one.
So Andrew and I were first dating, and we were watching... Andrew doesn't like scary movies, so we were watching, like, a comedy movie or something, or, like, a comedy show, and my parents have, like, pizza pans and, like, cookie sheet pans and everything in a... what is it called? In a cabinet. So, the cabinet, our house is leveled, all right, y'all, like, no foundation problems, and the pizza pan, you heard the cabinet door swing open, because it's right, where they have it is right next to the refrigerator, so you heard, like, it swing open and hit the refrigerator, and then you hear the pizza pan roll out, bounce on the floor, and then roll again, and then fall. And so you think about it, it's like whoosh, 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 you know, like how things...
Thank you for the sound effect.
Thank you. I'm pretty good at what I do.
Wait, was that in this house?
No. This one in mine.
Oh, okay.
No, we do have one here too.
Oh, can you... Oh.
Okay, wrap it up.
Okay, so there's that, right? And I was like, Andrew, you heard that, right? LOL. And he was like, oh, I fucking heard that. So I was like, well, dang, you're the man of the house because my dad's gone and it's just me, Alyssa. Go ahead and check that out. And he was like, this ain't my fucking house. So
You said you on your own.
for real. So I, like, looked up and I turned around and the pizza pan was in the middle of the kitchen. And we were like, okay, that doesn't make any sense.
Pretty sure we made pizza after that, too.
Yeah. Shit, I
The
ate
ghost
that.
had a good idea.
I ate that energy up. Oh, but the one here at this, like, house, Andrew and I just moved in, and he wakes up, like, real early, like, right before the sun comes up, and he said, like, we moved in, and upstairs where we live, he said he looked out, and he looked into, like, the upstairs, like, game room, and what did you say? It was a little girl? You could say yes. He said he saw a little girl just standing there in the game room. And I just saw, like, from my perspective, I just saw Andrew staring at something. So I was like, fuck you looking at, bro? You scaring us? It's just me. I was like, you scaring me. What are you looking at? And he said as soon as I said that, it just, like, vanished. And he was like, nothing.
You know, it never clicked into my head. Once that AI filter started going around TikTok, it never clicked in my head. Like that, when you did the AI for the doorway, and it would look like a little girl standing in the doorway, like peeking in.
It was me. Sorry.
But either way, like, Andrew's very, like, Christian. So, like, he didn't tell me any of this. I woke up, because it was my day off, so I woke up, like, noon. And he was like, hey, by the way, I saw something. Can you go ahead and do this prayer at every corner of the house? I was like, fuck no, I'm not leaving the damn room. I was so scared. That's it. And on that note, with that last scary ghost story, thank you so much for tuning in with Now Try It With Wine. I'm Des.
I'm Mary.
And we'll see you next week. We don't know the topic yet. It's a surprise to all of us. Bye.
Bye.
And don't you forget that charcuterie board, you heard?